Hello everyone. Today we will go through the date picker in Playwright and we'll continue from what we were doing in the previous video, and we will test basically the date picker in this application. This application is an Angular application for who didn't see the previous video, which I cloned into my repository and then I started the project from scratch. If you see since the beginning the video from this channel, I basically created all the projects, set it up from scratch, and tested it. So now we arrived to the point where we are testing the date picker. And in order to test it, you can perform the test in two ways. One manually, which means to get from the inspection an understanding of what to click and select the appropriate locator. Or you could use the code gen that Playwright give you already available for you. Let's do in both ways probably so that we can test the date picker. So let's see, let's test the common date picker. So what I will do is to click this element from inspection. So I click this element, select the right element, and we go to the input. Now we see that what we have available for testing to use as a locator, the placeholder seems to be a good match. So that's why we will copy it. We will go back to our project, and below we will write in the comment testing the date picker. Date picker. And we will perform await page dot get by placeholder, which is the method that get the placeholder, and we can then attach the placeholder inside it. This will get the placeholder. Which action we want to perform to the placeholder? We want to perform a click. That's why you write dot, and you see that the methods come in suggestion. But if we want to do click, we see that there is a click as a method. Playwright is actually on other frameworks. I believe because I use Selenium Cypress, it's actually more like English level and easier to it speak basically more. It is closer to the English language, let's say. So I'm performing a click, and then we go to our application. So once we perform a click, we want to select the date. Let's see how this for. Okay, this is a simple one. So, all right. So if I click this one and I want to select the 15, I can get by text. Yes, as you can see, the best way and the best practice is to use the get by text. The class is something I don't use because it's something that can be changed in the code. Often classes use libraries like Tailwind, Boots. They can be changed if the design changes. So it's not a good thing to choose. We'll choose the 15. So let's go back to our project and let's do await page dot get by text, and we choose the text 15. And what we want to do is to make sure that there is no other 15 already in the page. We see here there isn't, but sometime if there is, you can ensure to choose the unique element by exact true. This will just select an element that has 15, but nothing else, space or other character in the string, if it is a string. So we can get by this. We don't use any nth because in this case, I'm pretty sure there is only one. And what we want to perform is again a click. Now, once we simulate this, if we click 15, it will basically display the text. What we do now, we want to ensure and test that the text actually, the text is showing as May 15, 2025, let's say. How we do that? We can create an assertion. So let's say if you select this element, which is an input right now, Being an input, you can use the method you can select an input and to do an assertion to the text and write dot to have text equal to this string. You can actually do in different way. So let's go back to the project and let's write await expect. The expect is the method that where you can do assertions, and then you need to get the element. So if you want to get a locator, then we can get the input from the locator. But in the page there might be more than one input. So we want to let's see what is the best thing to check. So there is an input with the placeholder form picker. If you press Ctrl F, you can check how many times form picker is shown in the page, or you can even write yourself the selector. So you can write, for example, input, then open parenthesis, and then inside you can write placeholder equal and double quote inside. And you can see that this confirms that we have only one placeholder. So we don't have to use nth to determine the match, which match we are considering. So we can safely use get by placeholder and do like this page dot get by placeholder, which is equal to the one we copied from picker. And so we expect this element to have text, and inside we can insert which text, which we go and check, and is May 15, 2025. Okay, let's test now this. Let's see if passes, and if doesn't, it passed. So what happened is that we can see that it clicked the date picker. Let's run it again because I couldn't see. I think this was the previous run. Let's see now what happened. Okay, say that it passed. Let's see if it's a false positive. It seems this is a very good example of a false positive. It is passing, and let's see which is the reason. Because I'm launching the wrong. I'm launching the wrong test. So we need to launch exercise 2. That was the reason. So yes, let's see if it fails. And if it fails, we will understand the reason. And it failed. We get an error, fill user form. So let's view from here what happened. So if you click here to action, you see that what action is performed because it's highlighted. So here it correctly fill, and then it click the checkbox. Let's see after, and then it click submit, and the error was a timeout error. So here it correctly filled the checkbox. The submit, let's see the first submit. You can insert what we get here, the get by role. So when you click check with this button and then you select to this submit, you see that the way it actually selected that submit, it was with the locator form filter and then selected the button. How did let's see the selector I instead implemented. Page, get by role link, submit, and th. Let's copy this instead. And let's see if it actually corresponds to 1. It seems like it doesn't. So it was the wrong way to get the submit. You can even inspect to check that exactly why. It is a button, so get by role button is correct with the name of submit, which is also correct. Probably the nth has to be inside instead than outside. Okay, there is a button instead I put link. Okay, that was the reason. So if we substitute link to button, because it's a button, it's not a link, we try now to run again, and let's see if now it passes. It probably will not pass because I didn't perform the action to move to the date picker. So I'm expecting this to fail. In fact, I already know where the problem is. Basically, what happened is that when we were in the form layout to perform the previous actions, and I didn't click to the date picker. So I should select the get by text date picker. Let's see if there is more than one date picker, and there is only one. So let's do this. So wait page dot get by text date picker dot click. This click it should be outside. And let's run the test again. And now if it doesn't perform too quickly the actions, it will pass. Or if it will fail, we will understand why. That's how basically the process of testing, a bit of debugging while you test. But there is a way that is faster to test the same, which we'll check very soon. So it is failing because it's not finding the text. It receives instead an empty value. Why? Let's see. It is because it checks the to have test, it applies to input. Here we're selecting the by placeholder. So we should do page dot locator, which is an input dot get by placeholder. Probably this should be enough, or get by role input. Okay, locator is fine. Input is not part of the get by role. Let's run it again, and it failed. Let's see for which reason. Expected string received element not found. So let's remove the get by text. Let's see what happened when we select by input. This search at least one input that have a text in that way, and it failed. So because there are more than one input that has that. So let's make this locator more unique. Let's check the application, and let's go to that picker first of all, and we have more than one input. Now we need to check which input is the first. Which order is this input? The first is the first of 5. So we need to add first. So we add here that first, and now I'm expecting to pass, unless no, it fails. Let's see the reason. Expect string. Okay, for some reason it failed. So let's try with contain text, and it failed again. Let's add the get by placeholder, the one we selected before, which was, let's check it, form picker. Let's try this, and it failed again. By the way, one thing you can do when you don't remember exactly the reason why it is failing is to copy the text, go to chat GPT, and ask. That's a good way to get the feedback. So you simply copy, and then you can even copy the error that you got. You click into copy prompt. So that's just to understand how to use AI, also to debug problems. And you can write a context, but I think we'll understand already. So that has failed because it's checking text content of an input element. So as I was saying, actually, it should use to. Okay, it was a typo mistake to have value, not to have text, and that was the reason why it was failing. So let's try now to paste this. By the way, I advise you to use AI in case you get stuck because it helps you to speed up and solve problems. And now, as we can see, it passed. What is the other way I could have performed the same action? Is with the code gen. How to use the code gen? Actually, is something I will show you in the next video. Just to anticipate, if you're curious, you can simply here you can either those 4 features they allow you to use the code gen. We will do that in a specific video. For this one, I think is enough. See you in the next video, and if you like this video, consider to like, subscribe, and comment, and see you in the next one.